let's end this lightning round, and we're going to go talk about the 15 men and women who got to buy 2 world championships, so they don't need to win or get top 3 at USA's. They're going to
Yeah,
worlds no matter what.
this is big.
This is big. So the 15 men and women. We'll start with the men. Christian Coleman in the 100, Noah Lyles in the 200, Michael Cherry in the 4, Donovan Brazier in the 8, Grant Holloway in the 110 hurdles, Sam Kendricks in the pole vault, Christian Taylor in the triple jump, Joe Kovacs in the shot put. So those are the people who are going in because of World Championship or Diamond League. Now, let it be known, in an off chance that someone like Christian Coleman is hurt and doesn't decide to go in the 100, then Fred Curley would be given the bye as a Diamond League champion in the 100. But we're assuming that all the same with Grant Holloway. If Grant Holloway were to get hurt, then the bye would go to Ben Eric get the bye in the 2. Devin Allen will get the bye in the 110s. But assuming these people all are healthy, they will get the bye. Same with shot put. Women, Quinera Hayes got the bye in the 4, Nia Ali in the 100 hurdles, Dalilah Muhammad in the 400 hurdles, and then 3 women in the throws. Maggie Ewan in the shot, Valerie Allman in the discus, Deanna Price in the hammer throw, and Kendall Williams. She is the 2021 Combined Events Challenge winner who will get a bye in the heptathlon. So that means these 15 events, USA will get to send 4, with one of those 4 people being these athletes. So good news for these athletes, and also good news for athletes who compete in these events. You know, if you're a men's 800-meter runner, you don't need to worry about Donovan Brazier taking a spot in the top 3 because he's already going. Same thing with the 400, 200, 100, etc. Looking at this list, what type of dynamic are you kind of excited now knowing that these are the events where USA sends 4?
Well, I'm really looking at the events where the U.S. is in a tight squeeze, where we always say they could get 4 people to the final at the World Championships or Olympics, but only 3 qualify. So that's, of course, women's 400 hurdles, but that was locked in going back to 2019. So that's not new. But the 1 and the 2, same thing. We've talked about how deep those events are now with people jumping events. I thought Cherry's qualification was consequential, even though he was probably going to move on anyway. But you never know who is going to pop up in the men's 400 because so many young athletes are able to thrive in that event. And a lot of these athletes are still going to run at the U.S. trials in their preferred event. They just won't count in terms of qualifying. But some of them are just going to run a different event or run one round and then drop out. So they may not even impact the dynamics of the race. So someone like Brazier, whether or not he decides to actually run through is interesting because he's someone who's actually going to influence the dynamics of that race. So that'll be fun to watch to see what he decides to do because obviously Brazier, if he's back to where he was in 2019, is the best in the world. I also think we just got off an Olympics, Gordon, where everybody was saying, what's wrong with the U.S. track team, particularly the men? Why aren't they getting any gold medals? Where are all the medals? Now we're going to swing the pendulum the other way, and people are going to attribute it to the home field advantage, which partly will influence, I'm sure, the performance for Team USA. It's hard to see them doing worse when they're competing at home. But it's also this. Look at all these extra people they're going to get in the championship because of these rules. You can't send 4 to the Olympics. You can only send 3. And this is going to give the U.S. just a huge boost in terms of having 4 people. You're going to have situations where you might even get 4 Americans into a final, where now that your medal odds just go up astronomically at that point. So something to keep tabs on if you're someone who watches the medal table. And also, if you have a favorite athlete in one of these events, or if you're wondering, hey, is so-and-so going to lean to this event or that event, opens things up a bit.
So this is what I want to see because of these buys. I want to see Dalilah Muhammad run the 400 at USA's. I want to see that. I want to see Grant Holloway run the 100 or the 400 at USA's because he's got the buy. I want to see Holloway in 100. I want to see Holloway in a 400.
Well,
and if Holloway does do the 100, that gives him an opportunity to be on the 4x1.
Yeah. Yes. That was my point. So if you have this buy, there's 2 ways to approach it. There's one, do the minimum and move on. And then the other way is to use it to your strategic advantage. And yeah, if you want to try to get onto a relay, right, or try to sneak on in a different event, that now is your time. You're never going to have a
Yeah.
better opportunity than when you're going in with a free pass to Worlds.
So yeah, I want to see Grant in 100 or 400. I want to see Donovan Brazier in a 400 or 1500. I think it'd be fun to see Brazier in a 15. We know he has that raw talent to run 335. So that'll be fun to see him go up against, Cole Hawker and those guys. But also in the 400, get Brazier on that 4x4. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Lyles. I want to see Lyles stay in the 200. I want to see the other guys try to beat Lyles and kind of be able. Hey, guys, don't forget, I ran 19.5 in 2021. Don't forget about that. And then Coleman, I want to see Coleman run the 100 because I want to be able to just see where Coleman stacks up against the Curleys, the Bromels, the Bakers of this world, because is Coleman going to come in hot and be a 9.7 guy, or is he going to be a 9.9 guy trying to get his way into shape?
And Coleman is really helped by this because he doesn't need to worry about peaking or being in top form that early. You could say the same thing with people who get an injury for some reason, or someone I have no idea what Christian Taylor's recovery is like, but it certainly helps to not have to worry about qualifying at this meet. You can just go to run through and then call it a day. And we don't know who on this list. There's 15 athletes. Odds are one or two of them is going to pick up some new injury in 2022.